The new intern slammed a laminated menu directly into my face, screaming that her father was the company's most powerful client. But she had no idea that the man she was claiming as her dad was actually my biological uncle, a man who has been single his entire life. To understand the sheer insanity of that dinner, you have to picture the scene. It was a company gathering, the kind where you're supposed to relax, but the tension spiked the moment it was my turn to order. I simply asked for mac and cheese. But Sadie, the intern who had been terrorizing the office for a month, snatched the menu right out of my hands. She declared that we had ordered enough and that I was cut off. I tried to ignore her childish power play and turned to the waiter to place my order anyway, but that's when she lost it. She swung the hard menu like a weapon, slamming it into my face. The sharp edge scratched my cheek, and the sting of it sent my temper through the roof. I didn't hesitate. I grabbed the menu back and smacked it right into her face. Her reaction was immediate and shrill. She shrieked at me, demanding to know if I realized who she was. She announced to the entire table that her father was Wesley Modine, the biggest client our company had, and claimed that even the CEO had to bow down to her. She threatened that if I dared to touch her again, she would have my sales title revoked and ensure I was blacklisted from the entire industry. I just stood there, frozen not by fear, but by confusion. Wesley Modine is my biological uncle. I know for a fact the man is 40 years old and has been single since birth. I wondered when exactly he had managed to spawn a daughter this grown without the family noticing. But Sadie mistook my confusion for terror. She puffed up, sneering that a gold digger like me, who she claimed relied solely on my face to get sales, didn't deserve to breathe the same air as her, let alone order food. The irony was suffocating. She accused me of relying on my looks, completely ignoring the reality of my life. I wake up before dawn to draft proposals and spend 8 hours a day eating dust at construction sites, getting so tanned and exhausted that my own mother barely recognizes me. Yet this entitled girl thought I was skating by on pretty privilege. I pushed my chair back and stood up, staring her down. I told her firmly to watch her mouth, reminding her and everyone else that my performance was earned through blood and sweat. I pointed out that this was a company dinner, not her personal party, and if I wasn't qualified to order, neither was she. I told her the only nasty smell in the room was coming from the lies spraying out of her mouth. A few coworkers stifled laughter, clearly tired of her act. Sadie had only been an intern for a month, yet she treated everyone like her personal servants. I remembered when she poured scalding hot coffee over another employee, Meg, just for refusing to fetch her a drink. Meg ended up with blisters on her scalp, but instead of apologizing, Sadie threatened to get her fired if she complained. The company covered the medical bills to hush it up. Back then, I had wanted to intervene, but was held back. Now I understood why everyone was so afraid. They were terrified of offending the daughter of Wesley Modine. Sadie turned bright red, jabbing a finger in my face, claiming that without her dad, the company would be bankrupt. She declared herself the boss of the dinner, stating that if she said I couldn't eat, I starved. She threatened that ordering a single dish would result in my termination the next day. The poor waiter looked at me terrified, asking if he should proceed. I didn't hesitate. I told him, yes. I had brought in projects worth tens of millions. I wasn't going to let an intern starve me. But the chaos summoned the CEO, Cody. He walked in with a dark expression, demanding to know why we were screaming. Before I could get a word in, Sadie rushed to him, twisting the story into a pretzel of victimhood. Cody didn't even ask for my side. He looked at me with cold condescension, lecturing me about the company's principle of frugality. He framed Sadie's controlling behavior as looking out for the company's interests and accused me of crossing the line for hitting her back. Then came the ultimatum. He ordered me to apologize to Sadie and pay her a $10,000 fee for emotional damage to settle the matter. I laughed in disbelief, staring straight at him, asking if he was seriously telling me to pay a bully. His face darkened at my defiance, and Meg tugged on my sleeve, whispering frantically for me not to push it because Sadie was Mr. Modine's daughter. I stood there, watching them cower before a fraud, realizing I was the only one who knew the truth that was about to burn them all down. My boss watched in silence as the intern stole my $70,000 bonus, claiming my hard work was dirty, all because she convinced everyone her father was the company's biggest client. To understand how this fraud stole my livelihood, you have to look at the proof she used to fool everyone. My coworker Meg showed me a social media post where Sadie, the intern, posed next to my Uncle Wesley in front of a luxury car, captioned, "Thanks, Dad, for dropping me off." I nearly dropped my jaw. My uncle, a man I knew was childless, had somehow been roped into this charade, likely unaware he was being used as a prop. When I tried to call him, the line was dead, leaving me defenseless against her narrative. The next day, Sadie made good on her threats. At the company awards ceremony, the top sales award, and the massive bonus that came with it was handed to her, despite the fact that I had generated over $100 million in revenue while she hadn't closed a single deal. The presentation slides still had my name on it, a glaring error that no one dared to correct. When I stood up and demanded an explanation, the executives looked away in shame. Sadie, emboldened by their cowardice, accused me of using shady tactics to get my sales, claiming the company was stripping me of the award to protect its reputation. I turned to the CEO, Cody, begging for justice, but he just told me to look at the bigger picture, effectively sacrificing my career to appease a client's daughter. Sadie didn't even pretend to be humble. She sneered at me, declaring that fairness belongs to those with power and mocking me for not having a rich daddy to fight my battles. She claimed her identity alone was enough to crush me. I decided to test her. I asked her about Mr. Modine's niece, me whom he treats like a daughter. Sadie froze for a split second before lying through her teeth, claiming she barely saw her cousin because she lived overseas. That was the confirmation I needed. I laughed in her face, asking why a high-class sales champion needed to steal a bonus from a nobody, like me knowing that her house of cards was about to come crashing down. I publicly apologized for my wasteful spending in the company group chat. But the moment I hit send, I logged out of every system, sat back, and watched as the imposter who stole my job realized she had inherited a ticking time bomb. To understand the magnitude of my revenge, you have to witness the humiliation I endured. After Sadie stole my sales award and bonus, the CEO, Cody, didn't just demote me. He made an example of me. He tagged me repeatedly in the group chat, demanding a 1,000-word reflection on my undisciplined behavior for ordering a single dish at a company dinner. He stripped me of my title, suspended me, and moved my desk next to the restroom, all while promoting Sadie to my position as sales manager, handing her all my hard-earned projects on a silver platter. They wanted me to break. They wanted me to beg. Instead, I played their game. I typed a message dripping with malicious compliance, promising to never order a $5 dish again, and vowing to drink only water at future events. It looked like submission, but it was a declaration of war. I logged out of everything, leaving Sadie in charge of a complex portfolio she had zero skills to manage. As she smugly bossed people around from my old desk, I sat by the bathroom watching the clock, knowing that without me, the projects she stole were about to collapse, and when they did, her fake identity as Mr. Modine's daughter wouldn't be enough to save her. Welcome to share your feelings in the comments section. Remember to like and subscribe, and if you want to see more story content, please check out the other videos on my channel.